This week on football,
I say boosh.
Bash!
Like Josh checked your emails and it was like from and this. We want to get you in.
We'd go around Rich's house and just put the TVs next to each other and like 4 or 5 PlayStations in the room and just playing COD.
And he just, in the air, backheeled it back to the keeper. I just thought, that's so demotivating.
Dream. It's Gold Plus TV, where the weirdos run free. From John Parkin's back to Phoenix, Pence FC. Roy Hodgson swore at Alex's poor mom, and a giant flat baby's been hitting the rum. Nunez is king, Henry can't compete, and Usain Bolt calls the show elite. 2 lads, 1 mic, and no dignity. You'll never be the same after Gold Post TVV.
on that goal that you scored against Man United, I heard a few people are trying to take it off you. Is that right?
Is that the rumour?
Really?
Well, apparently it took a deflection.
Yeah, do you know what? I did take a deflection, but I played it onto Varane, so...
Exclusive.
Still counts
Yeah, it
as
still
your goal.
counts. It was on target, so I'm taking it.
After that game, obviously you were kind of the talk of the town, and obviously you scored the goal. It was one of the biggest goals of your career. But probably the first thought you thought after finishing that is, can I get a shirt from one of the players at the team I support? What happened?
Well, it was honestly like school dinner's queue. It was, the lads were racing all over the pitch. They were queuing outside their changing room. And I was a little bit like, I just want to, blast myself for 90 minutes. I just wanted to sit in the changing rooms. And then I seen the lads queuing up and I thought, oh, you know what, I'll just have whoever I get. And ended up with Mctominay's.
Honestly.
Oh, you got Mctominay?
Yeah, which is a good
Mate, he's
one.
like one of the best midfielders in the world at the moment.
Yeah, I think so.
Is he on 12 goals?
I mean, I love
Mate, I'm not even kidding.
Mate,
I actually thought this the other day. I was actually going to make a video. I'm adamant he's one of the best midfielders in the world right now.
I'm his biggest fan.
On current form.
I'm a big fan, as a United fan as well.
Are you actually a big fan of Scott McTominay?
Yeah, I like
genuinely?
McTominay, yeah. I used to have
Because it's split, isn't it? The United fan base.
Yeah,
Some of them,
but if you want someone who's going to work so hard for the shirt, as
love
all
that.
fans
Loves the
want,
club.
and he just loves the club, and
Yeah, but
he's covered it all.
he's low key, genuinely, really technical. I think.
Yeah,
as
he's
well.
good player. And he's popped up how many important goals this year,
mate.
so I'm a big fan.
And you got his shirt.
I got his shirt, yeah.
Oh, because we thought you might not have managed to get
Well,
one.
yeah, I looked at it and I thought apparently an interviewer kind of stopped you from.
Yeah,
getting
that's
it.
right. Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
right?
I won't name the people who it was. Talksport. It was.
I was going to do. I was going to Talksport. Yeah.
Talksport.
But yeah, they were like, oh, we can't get the camera work. Can't get the camera work. And I've just seen Martinez go past, Bruno go past, Højlund. I was like, oh, do you know what? Who am I going to end up with here? And then, to be fair, went into changing rooms and there was a shirt on my spot. So I didn't even speak to him personally to get it. There was just one left on my spot, and it was
Just
Mctominay.
please,
Is it a little bit like, I don't know about you, but I would almost feel a little bit embarrassed about going up to.
Well,
I did feel like that.
Yeah, I didn't want to go and queue.
Yeah.
But it's almost like they expect it, though. Do you know what I mean? As well,
Surely,
It's
yeah.
saying-
And I think their kit man had brought a few more shirts down and give us some coats and whatever else. But
it's quite degrading, though.
It
isn't
is.
it,
the
in a
thing
way?
is, the other thing I was thinking of, I think Seb, the lad I play up top with, he got Martinez's shirt because they had both come off towards the back end of the game. If I went on the United website and just bought a Martinez shirt, who would know any different?
Nobody would.
You look at the photos of me up against Martinez in the game, no one would ever know.
Yeah, you put on your wall. It's like,
So,
you did play against.
Yeah,
him, to be fair.
exactly.
I was speaking to somebody at the club today, and they were asking me questions about a game we used to play with the 50 pence on the pitch. Percy introduced it, and
Darren Pearce.
yeah, he'd start the game with holding the 50 pence, and then you'd have to pass it round while you're playing on the pitch
That's genius.
Oh, during a football game?
during a football game.
No.
Yeah.
That's
No,
mad.
shut up.
So at half time, whoever's got
Are
the
you
50
telling me right now that you used to play a game in Championship football standard and
With-
you're all passing a 50
yeah,
pence
50
round as a
pence.
game?
Yeah.
We need to pull up some old clips, don't we?
So if you ever speak to Percy, ask him about the 50 pence game. Somebody was talking to me about it today.
I can't believe that.
So whoever's stuck with it at half time has to buy a round of pints
Genius.
and stuff like that for all the lads, and whoever's left with it at the end has to buy the meal for the lads. But you couldn't say no to the 50 pence, so you don't know who's got it. So,
How would you pass it to
on
someone?
a corner, you're like,
so you're
on a corner, you're like,
Shut up.
That's class. That's
do you know what I mean?
class.
It's just little things like that. Next time, if you ever bump into Percy, just say, "Oh, Do you want to play the 50 pence game?
100%. I literally have done it for the stadium. I'm now making him. I'm going to Treforest, mate. I'm finding him. Should we play the 50 pence game?
That's brilliant.
Yeah, just little things like that. You know,
That's
what I mean?
one of the best
It's
stories
just-
I've heard in terms of football.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Like, as non-footballers, as people who've never played the game, we're fascinated by like little insights like that. So that like people want to hear that sort of stuff. We've not asked this on the podcast, but your footballing background.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to be a professional footballer when you were a kid?
Yeah, of course I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I did.
So you were playing obviously throughout being a kid.
I played under 12s, under 14s, under
Yeah.
16s. But, you know, the sides I were playing for were getting battered bloody 7-8-0.
Yeah.
You know, I used to play against Robbie Savage.
Did you?
Yeah, yes, you know, I think he was Broughton Villa or whoever he played at, and he was scoring 7 goals a game.
Savage.
Yeah. Robbie Savage, yeah, same age as me in school.
Scoring 7 goals again. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, they were, but, you know, if you got the captain marking you, you're going to score 7 goals.
AC Milan, what are you thinking? Spaghetti or pasta? Spaghetti. Ooh. AC Milan looks really tasty.
I would eat AC Milan.
I'd eat AC Milan. Would you eat AC Milan, guys? Let us know in the comments.
This is such a dumb podcast. So stupid, man.
That is the one thing playing against Man United that you notice against a Bruno or even like a Martinez. They are just 2-3 steps ahead.
Who's a player that you played against in that game that you're not going to be surprised by because they're Man United players, but who really went,
Dallo.
oh wow, really?
That's mad. Yeah, obviously I'd rate him, but
There was a ball that come over my head and it was probably like chest height here, and I'm watching it the whole way and I've seen him in front of me and he just in the air backheeled it back to the keeper, and I just thought,
that's so demotivating.
what chance have I got?
So much better than people give him credit for.
And he's
Dallo, I think.
rapid.
He's lightning.
He is lightning
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
Like, I was not surprised, like you said, you're not surprised by it, but to think watching United over the years, I've never really felt he's done enough to be like a solid starter. But do you know what I mean, you're playing against him week in, week out, and you think, wow, like that, he was crazy for me.
Yeah.
Did you do, and am I crazy, but did you do a shoot for Man United at Carrington? Is that right?
Yeah. So I was honestly, this is crazy because it's just mad how just life just works out. Because I've supported United since I can remember. My dad's a massive United fan. My flatmate is friends with the girl who works in the media department at United. Yeah, and they were at a party. And he put my boiler room on, and she was like, "Oh, who's that?" And he was like, "Oh, that's my flatmate Josh." And she was like, "Oh, sick." Blah blah blah. Party kind of goes on, and then he was like, they were kind of chatting, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm working with United now, doing their kind of media stuff." And he was like, "Oh, Josh is like a massive United fan," and she was like, "Oh, sick. Like maybe we can like get him in to like do some stuff." So this was like end of 22. And he's like, gets back and he's like, "Oh, bro, like, met this girl. You need to like shout out Lucy, by the way. Big love to Lucy, you're a legend."
Get me on.
Yeah, the nod.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, here's a number. Like, get in touch." And like, there was so much stuff kind of happening at that point. You kind of like, yeah, and then you forget. And then I took the start of the year off last year. I took the whole of January off last year, and was just chilling with one of my boys over in Dubai, and he's a United fan as well, and we were watching United, and I was kind of just, oh fuck, like I've got this girl's number who wants me to come and do stuff with United, like let me chase that up. So kind of reconnected, and there was a couple of things. She was like, "Oh, we might have space for you to do this," and then like maybe a month later, she was like, "Josh, check your emails," and it was like, "From Adidas, we want to get you in."
No fucking way.
So it was like official kit launch at Carrington. Like, yeah,
It's this season's kit, right?
yeah, this season's kit. Yeah. So yeah, the green with the white stripes, the the cream with the red is
It's
so
beautiful,
nice.
mate.
You know what?
It's
I'm not a
beautiful.
United
I've got
fan,
that here.
but
It's
that
absolutely
is
stunning.
That's
nice.
the best kit.
It's the best kit.
This season.
That's the one I said. Like as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously the home kit's the home kit. Funnily enough, at the shoot, because we came in, so they did the men's on I think it was the Tuesday, and I always remember one of the girls couldn't do the Wednesday, like one of the fans couldn't do the Wednesday, so she got to do the Tuesday with the men's team, so she got to meet like all the men's team. I was like, guys, come on.
Did you meet anyone?
So the women's team were coming in as we were leaving on the Wednesday, so got to meet a few of them. Like
There's some like
Ellerton
big
and
stars in that team, right?
Ellerton, man, what a G.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like proper like, because you know what it's like, man. Like Carrington's Carrington. Do you know what I
It's
mean?
the most famous training ground in the world.
Yeah, and it's like you've seen it on Sky Sports News,
All the
and
players
like,
driving out. Yeah.
yeah, and just
The
honestly,
history in
like,
it is different, though.
drove in, and yeah, it's just
Did you feel like you were a player?
Honestly, man, felt
I
like
bet-
I was,
I
felt like I was going for my medical.
gonna
bro.
sign,
Like,
yeah.
honestly, like,
Medical.
honestly,
What a
so
dream.
crazy. Like, yeah, still get goosebumps. Like, even just like driving down that road where like so many
See all the cars
players
going.
yeah, crazy.
I would have run out on the pitch and just
Yeah,
just
on the
like
training pitch.
done a
Yeah,
Klinsmann or something.
Yeah.
something, just like in the hope that
Eating the
like,
grass.
Yeah, just,
Yeah.
yeah, mate. 100%, mate.
But yeah, proper crazy day. And funnily enough, they were saying that the guys didn't like the green kit that much. They were like, if we lose in this, it's gonna
It's
be
got
bad.
that like grey kit. Remember when we had the grey kit? We changed it
at
stuff.
half time.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about what it's like to play against obviously difficult teams, top level teams, even just League Two and Conference that were more difficult to play against than what the United side was. Do you think that's a symptom of United, how they are at the moment, or do you think it's just a nature of Premier League teams maybe give you a bit more space?
Well, first of all, magic of the cup. That old saying that at the end of the day, it's still 11v11. All the pressure was on Man United to come to little old Rodney Parade, to play little old Newport. Perfect for us. We've been underdogs in the league all year. So when someone like a Man United comes into town, you think, we have absolutely nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing. If we get smashed 6, 7, 8-0, everyone will be like, well, Man United, do you know what I mean? Just getting there was the big talking point. But then to hold our own, I just felt like we were just playing with a bit of freedom. And don't get me wrong, when I looked at the clock, 15 minutes gone 2-0 down, I thought, oh.
I don't know what the manager said at half time, but either the second half.
Say? Yeah, what did he say?
He
must
said
he have
start
said?
the second half better than you start the first half.
Simple.
So don't concede in the first 6 minutes and you've done something better.
And then
when we went on
That's
the score.
just
But like,
absolute screamer as well.
yeah, screamer.
I bet he's absolutely
Absolute
buzzing with that.
Screamer.
Yeah, joke. I mean, obviously that's gone in. It turns the game on its head a little bit. And then where my goal comes from is Nick, our keeper, takes a quick goal kick a minute into the second half. Normally you'd be like, let's just stay in this game for as long as possible, wind down the clock, see what chance we've got. And he's played a long ball over the top, and we were 2v2 against him. So we had, luckily enough, built it out,
Great cross
out to
as well.
Diggers. He put it to Adam Lewis, and then, great ball. He's got great delivery.
What about that fucking goal he scored with the volley? Bosh! Bosh! How do you say it? Bosh? I say boosh. Bosh! Oh, is that how you say it?
Go bash.
Fucking boosh, I say it.
Well, the mighty
boosh. Boosh.
That sounds the same. Bash. Do you remember when Di Canio refused to come off and just sat on the pitch? He was getting substituted. He was getting substituted, and he just sat down on the pitch.
He
and
pushed over that referee as well, didn't he?
At Christmas, I went to a West Ham event in London, and I got invited down there. I thought, fucking, I'm famous. I want to tell you now. And they've invited me down there, and Ray Winston, Harry Redknapp was doing a speech, and I'm sitting, I'm outside having a fag. I'm like, with my old fag, and all of a sudden, a big old car turns up, and Harry Redknapp jumps out, and I look, I thought, fucking hell, what's Harry Redknapp? And he goes, hello, son. Oh, hello, mate. Oh, my God, Tommy.
No.
I've been watching you on the telly, son. Oh, you're different class. Oh, mate, I love you, son. Come here. Love that apprentice. I was like, I fucking, it was Harry Redknapp. And I was like, Harry, how are you, mate?
No way.
Yeah, and I had a big cut of him.
I'm talking, there must have been about 8 lads, not just
What, like
2 or
private
3
lobbies or?
So sometimes we would, after training, obviously, Wits didn't have any kids. I didn't have any kids. Drinky was on loan, so he would come down sometimes. I'd just take my TV and go around Witters.
Really?
We'd go around Witters' house and just put the TVs next to each other and like 4 or 5 PlayStations in the room and just playing COD. And
what a dream!
I can't believe that.
Not just that though, but even like, if we didn't go to Witz's, then we'd be in our own homes. And the lads used to say, right, okay, some of the lads had kids, Gavin Ray and stuff like Ken McNaughton, so they would put their kids to bed and send a message in the group saying, we jump on COD, and we'd go on at like 8-9 o'clock and playing COD till like 1 a.m.
It is a team, but it is a bonding experience, right?
I think it was like you can play with 6 in a party. I think it was. And we used to go on there and just absolutely just smash people. Do you know what I mean? Ken McNaughton was unbelievable at COD.
Was he? I was going to say,
yeah,
was he
Ken
the
was
best?
brilliant, really good. Yeah.
What
really
were you
good.
like?
I was all right.
Yeah,
I was all right. Yeah.
You ever get the band back together?
Look, I'd love to, but some of them probably don't play it. Do you know what I mean? The bonding we had. If we would go to a restaurant, we'd go as a 9 or 10 lads would go to the restaurant. We'd go to Nando's down the bay. There'd be 10 of you there.
Yeah.
Whereas now you'd probably see 2 or 3 lads going from the first team together.
Yeah, you do.
We had a really good connection. It was unbelievable.
Thank you, Activision.
Yeah, we obviously joke about it, but it did make a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I think it happens with loads of football clubs. Loads of them play Call of Duty.
See, he's asking me, aren't you bootlegger, did I make good money when I played? I said, obviously not. I went to jail for 18 months. So. So I've had my problems off the pitch, obviously.
Don't we all? Yeah, I've made mistakes, mate, and I get pulled up on them, but you always seem to have the same thing keeps coming to haunt you. But
I've had some bad times. I mean, I've hit the headlines. Obviously, I made all the front pages of the newspaper. I got caught having sex in the car with a wife. Unfortunately, it wasn't my wife. So making the headlines in that respect and that. And
but we live and learn, Mick, don't we?
Yeah, I know. As I said, I'm not a bad lad. I'm just happy-go-lucky. You know?
Yeah. Back in the day, like I know you alluded to it ever so slightly, but you used to drink before a game.
I did.
The night before a game, is that right?
Just to calm me down.
Yeah.
Playing for Man United is amazing.
Yeah.
But as I said, some people can embrace it, some people find it difficult. I know a few players in the recent years. I've been commentating on Memphis Depay, the player where he looked like he froze every time.
He did.
He's a wonderful player, but not for Man United. So yeah, it can happen. It's how you can come through it and that. I regret leaving Man United. I didn't want to go, but I wanted to get back to being me.
You wanted to be not the star of the show, but you wanted to be you.
What about when you give the lads a thing? You went over to America and played indoor football.
Well, I played in America as well. I mean, it's difficult because I used to.
Was that indoor football?
Indoor football, yeah, 10,000 sold out.
What was that about?
Well, I was playing for Wales in Ireland, and the manager of Ireland said, "Did you fancy playing in America?" And I went, "I'm not sure whether America's big enough for me and John Wayne." So I said, "Yeah, I'll have a go." And I just went. I went there for 2 years, and it wasn't a real game. No contact. You couldn't touch him. I was getting sent off every game, so it was a nightmare.
But you knew the whole deal. You knew it was going to be indoor football and everything like that.
Yeah.
Was there money in it for you?
It was a lot of money, yeah, but obviously not enough.
No, but good money for what was it?
Yes, very good money. Yeah, they looked after me, gave me an apartment, gave me a car, flew me over, and that. Yeah.
Well, those goals were set up by one person, Peter Whittingham. Obviously, unbelievable footballer. What was it like playing with him?
Whit was unbelievable. Sorry that he's not here anymore as well. It's sad. But even I go back to the season 2006, I think it was, when he came. I think he came halfway through the season. And I remember the goal I scored against Preston. When he done that Cruyff on the touchline.
Yeah.
I've played against Wits loads of times in Aston Villa reserves. So
really?
Yeah. So
I
I knew all about Wits, and the gaffer, obviously Dave, had told me that he was going to try and sign certain players in the January window, and Wits was one of them. And I knew if we could get Wits, then it's going to take Cardiff to another level. So because obviously, look, I played against a lot of players, and when I was at Newcastle Reserves, and Witts was one of them, he was a fantastic player. But I remember that the way he set me up for that goal, it was brilliant. But look, I knew that getting the right space in the box, Witts will find it. His left foot was unbelievable.
It's honestly insane.
And I think that's why he's gone down in history of being one of the best ever Championship players.
Well, he was named, I think, by EFL as the greatest, and then Tarak was second, but the greatest Championship player. And yeah, as you said, his one was insane. He was a Premier League player, but he just didn't have the pace. And even he used to say that in interviews, that he doesn't have the pace, and you needed that in the Premier League. He was a lot faster.
Yeah.
But that left one, deserved to be in the Premier League. I wanted to ask, if you don't mind, how did, obviously his unfortunate death, how did that affect you guys? Because obviously you must all keep in touch.
Yeah, well, look, I remember I was in Indonesia at the time, and Dave called me and told me what had happened.
Dave Jones?
Yeah, Dave Jones rang me up when I was in Indonesia. It was late at night in Indonesia. And I was devastated. Obviously, Indonesia is about 6-7 hours ahead, so I was in bed, and I just got out of bed, and I was just sitting on the sofa and just crying, because I couldn't. Even now, I get upset about it because I was really close with it.
Yeah.
When I played at Cardiff, but he was a great kid. It was just a shame what had happened in the wrong place at the wrong time and that sort of thing. But whenever people mention his name, and anyone just speaks so highly about him, do you know what I mean? He was an unbelievable player, and I was lucky enough to play with him.
Yeah, and that team, that period, it was a magical team.
Yeah.
It was probably the last time Cardiff genuinely had an identity in how they played. And obviously, rest in peace, Whittingham. He's an absolute legend.
Episodes of Car Crash perfectly timed. They've got a list of twats and truth wrapped in lies. You'll laugh so hard, you'll question your life. It's Goalpost